Hello everyone, it's Dawn and welcome to my channel. Welcome to our new subscribers, lovely to have you with us. And welcome to our long-term subscribers and anyone watching, lovely to have you all. Now this is the third time for all those of you lovely people who say to me in the comments or have said to me in the comments, oh, you make your videos look so easy. You wouldn't have said that if you'd have seen me an hour ago, and it's just as well you couldn't hear me. Because this is the third time I've tried this video. The first time I had a piece of paper upside down. The second piece I forgot to stick a piece on and I forgot to do the scoring. But anyway, hopefully it's third time lucky. If it doesn't work this time, I'm going to give up. So today we are going to make a gatefold card. And the reason I've already made a start was, I suppose it's fourth time lucky really, because I started again and I suddenly realised I was chatting away and I wasn't recording. So I hadn't pressed the button to record. So anyway, you will need two pieces which measure 9 by 6 inches, and you score at 3 inches on one side of each piece. So you'll have a 6-inch square and a 3 by 6 inch rectangle, I suppose you call it. Now in the middle, I have just placed a 6 by 6 piece of pattern paper, and all of these measurements will be in the description below, so don't worry about it. I'm not going to put anything on these parts. I will decorate the back a little bit. I've grabbed some embellishments out of my Christmas embellishment box, and if I can, oh, I can see them, they're over there, and I will put them on the back. And we're going to decorate the front and we're going to decorate the sides. Now that's why this you won't see all this rough bit. I had to peel it off because I'd started and realized I'd almost finished the video or finished the project and I wasn't recording. I had to, as much as I could, I had to peel it off, but I couldn't get these two bits separated. But all you do is the two square bits, the two 6 by 6, you just add your glue, line one up over the other and stick it down. And then I stuck my paper on afterwards. But if you want to add a separate mat, you can, that's absolutely fine. But anyway, this bit's 6 by 6. The mat underneath, or the square bit underneath, is 6 by 6. And these bits are 3 by 6. And all of the measurements will be in the description box below. Just click on the word more. It will drop down and you'll see everything you need to see. So as I say, I'm not going to decorate this bit, but I think we'll get the inside finished first, then we'll deal with the outside, because I have got a really super cute little character to go on the front, and I'll show you how we'll deal with that as we go along. So I'm going to use, I suppose you could, it's supposed to look like a wrapped gift, but you can use whatever embellishment you like. And this, if I can see under all the clutter, measures 5 by 3 3/4. I couldn't quite read whether I said 1/4 or 3/4, but it's 5 by 3 3/4. And on the back, I have got some double-sided tape. I've got a bin down here. I'm not throwing the backing paper on the floor. I have got a bin down by my side. And I'm going to just take that off. You can use glue if you want to. And I'm going to put mine roughly in the middle, like that. I have got some little embellishments out. What I might do is just put a couple of embellishments in the top and bottom corner, but we'll see about that at the end. And I have got a sentiment from a paper pack which says Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Now I picked this. I'm not using any particular paper pack. I'm not using any particular sets. I'm just using what's in my Christmas crafting drawer. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm using, as I say, I'm using up what I've got. So if you've got stash that you've had lying around for goodness knows how long, have a good raid, have a good pillage and see what you can come up with. And so that's what we're going to do. Or if all else fails, just use wrapping paper. This time of year, I think in most stores and shops, the Christmas wrapping paper is available. It certainly is in my town, or the town where I live, I should say. And so if you can't find anything else, use wrapping paper. Of course, wrapping paper will last longer because there's more of it. And some of the wrapping paper is really beautiful. It's embossed. Some of it's embossed, some of it's got glitter, some of it's got foiling. So I'm going to use this. Make sure you do make sure you get it the right way around. So, like I almost didn't. So that's going to be our label. Now, whatever you put here, I would strongly recommend you try and keep it flat. Don't put it on with things like tape, because when you close it, it won't sit flat because it'll be too bulky. Now, as you've probably noticed, this doesn't quite meet in the middle. That's because this is a 6x6 and the back one is a 6x6, and I put it right up. I glued it right up to the edge. Now if you want those pieces to meet, there are two ways you can do it. You could extend these bits, or the easiest way to do it is before, we can't do it now, but before you stick one part over the other, just the top part, just trim, I'd say, no more, slightly less than 1/4 of an inch, maybe about 1/8 of an inch off, and then that will, I'd say about 1/8, between 1/4 and 1/8 of an inch, and that will close. But I'm not bothered about that little bit showing. It's quite nice because anyone looking at that will say, oh, what's underneath there? And they will want to open it. So do you know what? I have decided to put some embellishments. I've got some stickers. Now, I do know where these came from. They came from the works because I got them, was it today or yesterday? Yesterday, I think. And they do go with the colour scheme. So I'm just going to put, I'm not going to put too much embellishment because I want to keep these bits free for writing my message. So now that's going to stick to me because I've got everything prepared and it's all got sticky stuff, and I've got a nice thick jumper on because it's jolly cold today. Everything's sticking to me, but that's all right. That's half the fun. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put that up there, but I'm not going to put any more on the inside. Now I've just stuck my embellishments to my front panel. That's clever, isn't it? But that's all right. We're done. We're okay. So you will need some mats to go on the front, and I've covered these. These again were from a paper pack, and these ones measure, the mats, what do they measure? They measure 2.5 by 5.5, and they will sit on there. Now let me show you how I've done it. All I did was the mats are 2.5 by 5.5. Obviously the paper is just a little bit bigger, about 1/2 inch all the way around, or 1 inch all the way around, and I've just covered it, and I have got some double-sided tape on here. And what we're going to do, so this is where I pulled it up where I realised I wasn't recording, but I most definitely am this time because I can see the little numbers going around. So we're going to stick that down there, and the reason I did it slightly smaller was because I quite like a little border so that it's not edge to edge. I nearly said wall to wall. It's because I've been decorating it. So it's not edge to edge pattern, because it's quite a lively pattern. But if you like that edge to edge pattern, just make it 3 by 6. But this one is 2.5, what did I say? 2.5 by 5.5. And I've got one, obviously, to go on the other side. So again, we'll just line that up as best we can. Just make sure you can see it. You can, excellent. So that will sit down like that. Now, before I put the star of the show on, I'll show you what I'm going to do for the back. So we've still got, this should still go into an envelope. So in my stash, again, this came from the works. It was just called a Christmas embellishment pack, and you got loads of stuff in there. But one of the things you got was this gorgeous bell. And because we got bells on the front, like that, I thought that would tie in quite nicely. So I am going to use, now what am I going to use? I think I'm going to use glue stick for this. Now, it's difficult to work out which way to do it. Now, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Because this dries clear, I am just going to, you could use your flat glue, your liquid glue, with the fine nozzle and put the glue on it that way. But for me, that takes far too long. Can't be bothered with that. Far too long, far too fiddly. So that will go on there, and that will sit down like that. And if you're worried about the glue, just wipe it off with your finger, and it will dry clear anyway, so it won't show. So I'm not at all worried about the glue. I did have that little bit out, but I'm not sure I'm going to put it on now. But what I am going to do, I'm going to put that red bow over the top of it like that. So just to give it a bit of decoration, but I am going to be a bit more selective this time about where I put my glue. So again, I'm going to use my glue stick just along there on the wider bits, and maybe just a little bit on the inner side of the bow trail. The rest of it, because it's a bow, it doesn't have to sit flat. It doesn't have to be flat all the way, because a little bit of dimension on a bow is actually quite effective. So decide where you want it. I think there's about right. Stick it down And you've got a gorgeous decoration on the back. So somebody, it's always worth keeping in mind that unless it's going on a mantelpiece, if it's going on a shelf or a windowsill, it's possible that somebody will see the back. At some point, the back's going to be seen. So if it's going to be displayed where the back is likely to be seen or possibly seen, it's always a good idea, I think, to put, it doesn't have to be anything that big, but just a little bit of embellishment on the back. So now we've got our back, we've got our front, almost, we've got our insides, and now we need the star of our show. So let me just move that to one side. Now this was actually a gift tag, but he is absolutely gorgeous. There's a little double-sided tape strip, which was already on there. I didn't have to put that on. That was already there, but watch this. This is brilliant. If you flip it over and stick it down, it gives him a really nice rounded tummy. Now, I didn't make this, I brought it. And again, I'm almost sure that came from the works, but I'm not 100%. I'm assuming it does, because almost everything I buy for craft comes from the works. I think it came from the works. It could have come from T.G. Jones or W.H. Smith, but I'm almost sure it came from the works. So that is going to go on. Now, this is what we need to be super careful about, because obviously if we just stick it down like that, you won't be able to open the card. So what we need to do, whichever side you're going to put it on, it doesn't matter which, but just make sure you get the other side, the bit that you don't want it stuck, out the way, so that it doesn't stick down. And you don't want to put it on that bit, you only want to put it on the bit. So I'm going to actually, if I line it up, I'm going to put it no further that way than his leg. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over. Oh, where did that come from? Keep in mind which side I've just measured, which was that side. Now I should have done this before opening him out, opening his tummy bit up, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to use red liner tape or red runner tape. You can use glue if you want to, but I'm still waiting. I've ordered some more glue. I'm still waiting for it to come. I think it's that time of year where everybody's ordering and they're just taking a little bit longer, but that's absolutely fine. I'm okay with that. So we're going to just make sure we put that so that the glue part is over that way and not coming out this way. Otherwise, when we stick it down, it'll stick to the inside, and we don't want that because it means the card won't open. So that should be fine. Let me just double check. Yep. Oh, we're good this time. So when you open it, it will open out like that. I'm not going to bother colouring the back. So now we have our card with his lovely tummy. Absolutely love. I'm going to be playing with that all day now. What's left of the day. And I was looking at that I got out. I really want to put that somewhere, but I think I'm going to ruin it if I put any more to it. So we can open it out like that. We've got a lovely gift with Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Oops. And on the back we have a decoration, and there is our card, and it will stand up really nicely. So if I stand that up like that, and if I rock it backwards, you'll see what it looks like when it's standing up. There's plenty of room to write our message, either on the left or the right, whichever way you want to put it. What you can do is decide which side you're going to put your message and then decorate it a little bit more the other side. That's entirely up to you, but I'm going to leave mine like that because I haven't decided yet. It'll probably, because as we've got this bit sticking out, what I might do, I'll probably do it on that side. I might decorate that bit up a bit, but I doubt it. So there we go, guys. There is our, I suppose you call it a double gatefold card, but let's call it a gatefold. There is our gatefold card with our tummy, with our Santa with his 3D tummy. But you don't have to use this. You, as I say, use whatever you've got in your stash. And so raid your stash, have fun, and see what you come up with. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm sorry it went up a bit late, but we got there in the end. Better late than never. So, or as my old choir master used to say, better to arrive alive and late than dead on time. That always made me laugh. So we've got there in the end. And this is it. A lovely gatefold card with lots of different images and textures. And I think that's a very acceptable card, whether you're making your cards or selling your cards. Now, if you sell your cards, you might just want to keep your embellishments a little bit smaller, but find somewhere on the back just to put your logo. I won't be doing that this time, but I would do if I was selling my cards. So there we go. There is our card for today. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I will be back on Friday with another tutorial for you. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. It helps enormously with the algorithm. And if you're not a subscriber, but you've enjoyed this, if you could give me a thumbs up and subscribe and then click the all, that would be fantastic. That means you'll never miss a video from this channel. And as I say, I will see you Friday. And so until then, take care everybody, have fun, and as always, happy crafting. Bye-bye for now.